blow for the Indiana Fever. Caitlin Clark, if you recall, she's missed 9 games this season. We're recently dealing with a groin injury and looks to have re-aggravated that same groin with 38 seconds left in Tuesday night's contest against the Sun.
Is the story that Caitlin Clark seems to have re-injured her groin. She walks down to the end of the court. You can tell that she's in pain. You can tell that there's something wrong.
Caitlin Clark left the court early in the Indiana Fever's emotional win over the Connecticut Sun, and this time, it wasn't just a routine substitution. Late in the fourth quarter, Clark was seen reaching for her left groin, wincing in discomfort. And shortly after, she quietly exited the game and never returned. The Fever may have pulled off the upset, but the focus immediately shifted to their star rookie, and the question every fan is now asking, is Caitlin Clark okay? What makes this moment even more dramatic is the timing. The WNBA All-Star Game set to take place in Indianapolis on Clark's home floor is just days away. She's not only the biggest name on the All-Star roster, but also the league's top draw in the three-point contest. Now, after this injury scare, her entire All-Star weekend status is suddenly in doubt.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit off air about the injuries that Caitlin Clark has had. Most recently, the groin injury, a quad strain, an ankle, all up and down that same leg. And those injuries can be very difficult for a basketball player, any athlete really, that has a lot of start and stop motion. And it looked like, again, short stop, Caitlin Clark trying to get a good angle. She does complete.
I have zero hate for her. I appreciate her game. What I don't appreciate is all the ugly nastiness that comes with it.
Caitlin Clark suddenly came up limping. There was no hard fall, no ankle roll, no dramatic collapse. But those watching closely saw it. Clark reached for her left inner thigh, right near the groin, and winced.
So well, and this season has just been so tough for her when it comes to injuries. And this is also something where she's never battled injuries in college. She's always been something who has been a very healthy player. And this year it has been quad injury, and then another quad injury, and then a groin injury, and now what seems to be another groin injury. Now,
she's been expected to be a leader, a scorer, a savior, and a show every single night. And now, her body is waving the red flag. Quietly, but urgently. Because no matter how superhuman she seems, Caitlin Clark is still human. And this groin injury may be the first real sign that the load she's been carrying is becoming too heavy. And the timing, it couldn't be worse.
You know, that's the interesting question. For all of the things that you mentioned, you want Caitlin Clark in this game for what she can do when she's healthy. She's able to also stretch the defense because she can shoot from basically anywhere. And so, of course, that's a weapon that the Indiana Fever would like to have as they're looking to make a playoff push. However, we have seen that the Indiana Fever, they have a few different rotations, even when Caitlin Clark is in the game, that they're able to use. And Ari McDonald has been a really great pickup. Once Dewana Bonner left, requested to leave the Indiana Fever, that left an open roster spot, a permanent roster spot where McDonald could slide in. She's also able to get this team downhill.
The Fever's win over the Sun was more than just another W in the column. It was a statement. A team on the rise. A rookie finding her rhythm. Caitlin Clark had been hitting her stride, averaging nearly 19 points, 8 assists, and over 5 rebounds a night. She was finally settling into the pro game, leading with confidence, and helping push Indiana closer to a real shot at the playoffs. But now, just 5 days before the biggest weekend of her young WNBA career, that momentum comes to a screeching halt. All-Star Weekend wasn't just another showcase. It was her weekend. The three-point contest? Built around her range. The All-Star Game? Set in Indianapolis on her home floor, in front of her fans. The tickets? Long gone. The cameras? Locked in. The sponsors? Counting on her. And now, the one thing everyone expected seeing Caitlin Clark in uniform is suddenly in question. Just like that, the most anticipated weekend in WNBA history might be missing its biggest star.
Caitlin Clark's brother tweeted, "This one is on the refereeing." Like, there are people in Caitlin Clark's family who are starting to call out the referee.
And now comes the impossible question. Should she even play? On one hand, All-Star Weekend is meant to be a celebration, not a war zone. It's a chance to breathe, to shine without pressure, to simply enjoy the game. And if Caitlin Clark isn't close to 100%, the logical choice is clear. Sit, rest, and protect your long-term health. Because groin injuries, they're deceptive. They don't scream for attention, but they linger. One wrong move, one burst too hard, and a mild tweak turns into weeks, even months, of recovery. But on the other hand, this isn't just any weekend. This is Indiana. Her court, her crowd, her moment. Thousands of fans are traveling from across the country, not to see a generic all-star game, but to see her. Sponsors have built entire campaigns around her name. Media outlets are planning their coverage around her presence. The WNBA, whether they'll admit it or not, is banking on Caitlin Clark to be the face of this weekend. And that's where the pressure becomes more than physical. It's emotional. It's commercial. It's legacy-driven. Because this isn't just a game anymore, it's a crossroads. Sit out and protect the future, or push through the pain for the moment, the fans, and the league that needs her on that stage?
I feel like Caitlin Clark, she is your star player. She's having an injury that is jumping. It's not one that is just staying in one area. It's jumping from quad to groin and now to another groin. You can't mess around with injuries that are moving around your body because it means that mechanically something isn't tracking right, something is not working properly. And an injury like a groin injury, if you are an athlete who plays a sport where you have to move laterally, it is so hard to heal. And she came back, I believe, a little over 2 weeks being out. And I originally thought that they were going to keep her out through All-Star. As heartbreaking as that would be, like, just don't even let her play in the All-Star game.
After the game, Fever head coach Christy Sides addressed the media with a calm but cautious tone. She confirmed what fans feared. Caitlin Clark felt tightness in her groin and was pulled from the game as a precaution. Her status for the All-Star game? Officially listed as day-to-day. But behind that vague label lies a storm of uncertainty. And the WNBA, they've gone quiet. No replacement named, no statement issued, just silence. Because let's be honest, they know what's at stake. This isn't just about losing a player. It's about possibly losing the player. The one the entire weekend was built around. If Caitlin Clark doesn't suit up for the All-Star game, it doesn't just leave a gap on the roster, it leaves a void in the spotlight. The energy, the excitement, the ratings, the spectacle, all of it dims without her on that floor. And the league is holding its breath, just like everyone else. And then came the explosion. Online, across social media, on sports talk shows, everywhere. Fans didn't hold back. Some were practical, even pleading, "Sitter, please, it's not worth the risk." Others were heartbroken. "I bought tickets months ago just to see Caitlin. Please let her play." But the conversation didn't stop with fans. Former players started speaking out too, questioning the way Clark has been handled. The intense minutes, the brutal physicality allowed against her night after night, and the glaring lack of recovery time after her college career. They weren't just criticizing the Fever.
And then throws Aaliyah Boston to the ground, like punches down on her. And she's on the ground, and that was not called a flagrant one. That was called literally a common foul, you guys. Hands up at this point. Like, I don't even know what the players can do because the players aren't being protected. And I know so many of the times, like, we're talking about this when it comes to the Indiana Fever, but this does happen across the league. There are many plays that we could pull up. They just don't go as viral as the Fever ones. I don't know. What do we do? Do you guys have any suggestions on what can actually be done? The coaches get technicals for it. The coaches get fined when they call them out to the media. Like, this is a top-down issue. This is a commissioner's issue. And now you have a tweet that goes out from Caitlin Clark's brother that says, "Make no mistake, this is on the reffing." And this is right after she seemingly got injured again. She was getting hacked, she was getting hand checked, all of the things that we have gone over so many times, like the things that continue to happen. I just, at this point, I don't.
Now, a word that once seemed impossible is entering the conversation: burnout. Has the WNBA, in its hunger for relevance and revenue, placed too heavy a load on its brightest young star, and is her body finally starting to push back? So now the entire league holds its breath. Caitlin Clark is being reevaluated day by day, hour by hour. If she wakes up feeling close to 100%, she may still suit up. Maybe not for herself, but for the fans, the city, the league that's built this weekend around her. Even a few minutes on the floor could electrify the crowd. But if that tightness lingers, if there's even the slightest risk of aggravation, don't be surprised if she quietly pulls out. A late substitution, a silent exit. Because behind the scenes, this decision isn't just about one game. It's about protecting everything she's building. The Fever's playoff hopes, her long-term health, and the brand she now carries with her name. Her agents know this isn't just a star rookie. This is a multi-million-dollar empire in motion. And they're not thinking about Saturday night. They're thinking about the next 5 years. Every step, every minute on the court now has consequences. And whether she plays or not, one thing's already clear. Caitlin Clark's presence has changed the game. But now her absence might change it even more. Caitlin Clark's rookie season has been a roller coaster. She's broken records, carried expectations, faced physical punishment. But now, she's at a turning point. Rest or risk, play for the crowd, or plan for the long game. Whatever decision comes next, one thing's clear. This weekend is bigger than basketball, because whether she suits up or not, the world will still be watching Caitlin Clark.